My name is Chase Smith, and today I will be presenting the chi-square test of independence. The agenda for today includes an introduction to the chi-square test of independence. I'll give 3 examples of the chi-square test. We'll have some takeaways and a conclusion. The chi-square test of independence is applied for researchers to use when finding a significant relationship between variables. The variables are usually 2 or more nominal levels. The researcher uses the null hypothesis to find portion difference of values from variable to variable when they are the same. Using the null hypothesis, there is no relationship. And the alternate hypothesis, there is a relationship. If there is a relationship, the Cramer's V is used to measure the strength of the relationship. Cramer's V is only used when the null hypothesis is rejected. The first chi-square test. The null hypothesis states there is no relationship between numbers, cars, and numbers default. Our alternate hypothesis is there is a relationship between numbers of cars and numbers of default. The chi-square test showed the results of no relationship emerged. The degrees of freedom were 6, with the number of cases being 150. The chi-square value was 6.681, with a p-value of 0.351 and a Cramer's value of 0.15. Our next test, the second test. Again, we state the null hypothesis, which there is no relationship between the Likert comfort and numbers default. The alternate hypothesis is there is a relationship between the Likert comfort and the number of defaults. Our results presented, again, no relationship emerged. Once again, our degrees of freedom were 6. The number of cases were 150, with a chi-square value of 6.681, p-value of 0.351, with a Cramer's value of 0.15. Our third test, the null hypothesis states there is no relationship between numbers of cars and the Likert comfort. The alternate hypothesis states there is a relationship between the numbers of cars and the Likert comfort. Our results came in with a relationship that did emerge. Our degrees of freedom were 9. Our number of cases were 150. Our chi-square value was 450 with a p-value of 0.0 and a Cramer's value of 1. This indicated it was a very strong relationship. Now we'll look at some takeaways using the Cramer's V test. The Cramer's V interpretation shows us a strength of association from 0 to 1. 0 having no relationship, and there is no relationship to consider, all the way ranging to 1, which will be perfectly symmetric and very rare. Also notice that even with a 0.15 strength of association, it's still very weak and no relationship to consider. Here are some takeaways. It is important to note that the chi-square test of independence assumes that the individual observations are independent. There are other tests that can be performed, including the Cramer's V, which we've already discussed. We also have the Fisher's exact test and the G-test. And last but not least, the PSPP software is a great tool that provides the calculations for us. This concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, please leave them below.